Prince William's kingship may come sooner than expected after health scare hits King Charles. Welcome to Royal Realm. Please subscribe to stay updated with all the latest updates from the UK royal family. The royal family quietly prepares for Prince William to ascend the throne sooner than anticipated. Recently, during the final moments of a state visit to Italy with Queen Camilla, King Charles III planted a tree, a gesture full of symbolism. As he set down the shovel, he remarked with a gentle smile, "Well, I do hope that I shall live long enough to see a little bit of growth in the tree." It was a moment of lightness, yet quietly poignant. Given recent events, it's becoming increasingly clear that Prince William, King Charles's eldest son and heir apparent, may be stepping into his future role earlier than once imagined. At 42, the Prince of Wales may soon find himself preparing for responsibilities far greater than originally planned. When King Charles ascended the throne in 2022, he was nearly 74 years old, making him the oldest monarch in British history to begin his reign. Not long after, the royal family faced an unimaginable challenge. Both King Charles and his daughter-in-law, Catherine, Princess of Wales, were diagnosed with cancer. While Catherine later shared that she is in remission, the king's treatment remains ongoing. On March 27th, he was briefly hospitalized due to side effects from a therapy, a moment that, although described as a minor bump in the road, reminded everyone of the underlying seriousness. According to royal historian Tom Quinn, preparations for a smooth succession were already underway before the king's diagnosis. Charles became king later in life, Quinn explains. Because of his age, the royal household had already begun quietly planning for the future. Despite having one of the longest apprenticeships in modern history, King Charles, like many monarchs before him, had no formal training for the role. "It's a position you learn through example," notes royal biographer Robert Hardman. In turn, Prince William is now being introduced to more duties typically carried out by his father, an intentional effort to ease the transition when the time eventually comes. As Quinn puts it, the recent health challenges have made everything more urgent. Christopher Anderson, another respected royal commentator, reflects on the current moment with caution. "The palace is doing its best to project stability," he says, "but behind the scenes, the situation remains unpredictable." The king, he adds, is very much still in a delicate place. While King Charles was tending to state matters in Italy, William and Catherine took a brief family holiday to the French Alps with their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, during the Easter school break. For now, the couple continues to prioritize their children above all, carefully balancing royal duties with family life. Kate and William are deeply focused on their family, Anderson says. At this point, they simply can't afford to dwell on dark possibilities. Prince William has been candid about the emotional toll the past year has taken. In a heartfelt interview last November, he described it as brutal, calling it the hardest year of his life. Watching both his wife and his father battle cancer has left a profound impact. Nevertheless, he has stepped up in a meaningful way, often serving as the face of the monarchy while the king undergoes treatment. He's visibly present, but that doesn't mean he's not struggling, Anderson explains. Behind closed doors, there is a growing awareness among royal aides and advisors that William's time may come sooner than expected. The king is 76, and while no one can predict the future, the recent diagnosis has been a sobering reminder, says Quinn. It's not just the illness, it's time itself. Charles understands that his reign may be shorter than he once hoped. Despite his condition, King Charles remains steadfast in his commitment to duty. Those close to him, including Queen Camilla, are concerned he may be pushing himself too hard. "He's never been one to slow down," says Anderson. "Charles has always been a man of strong will and little patience. No one expected him to quietly rest. That's just not who he is." True to form, less than 2 weeks after his hospitalization, the king resumed international engagements, keeping the same rigorous pace he set at the start of his reign. "He's not simply enduring cancer, he's living with it," Hardman explains. On the evening of his hospital visit, King Charles reportedly returned to Clarence House, had dinner with Queen Camilla, and then, as always, resumed work. That kind of dedication speaks volumes, shares royal biographer Sally Bedell-Smith. But even with his drive, there are signs of wear. He may not be as physically resilient as he once was, but that's also natural, given his age. Smith also confirms that the royal family is actively discussing succession behind the scenes, conversations King Charles himself is involved in, just as Queen Elizabeth II was in her later years. Many once assumed Charles, like his parents, might reign well into his 90s. But a serious illness changes everything. Having waited most of his life to become king, Charles is determined to leave a legacy of his own. He made a lasting impact as Prince of Wales, Smith notes, but he wants to be remembered for more than that. He wants his time as king to be meaningful. Yet she admits, he's likely measuring his reign in years, not decades. Prince William and Princess Catherine are also aware that their current roles may be transitional. They understand that their time as Prince and Princess of Wales may be shorter than they thought, Smith says. So they're preparing, quietly, respectfully, and with a sense of purpose. Thanks for being part of the realm. Subscribe for more royal updates.